Pros and cons of riding a Litre bike. I think I will try to think of 3 pros and 3 cons. First pro, power. Everyone wants power. Everyone asks for power, right? With a Litre bike, you are going to get power. You're going to get so much power, in my opinion, that you're not really going to know what to do with that power, because you don't have the roads for it. You don't have the environment for you to have fun safely, in a safe manner, with the amount of power a Litre bike is going to give you. Right? 2, typically with a Litre bike, you're gonna get a flagship motorcycle. You're going to be getting the creme de la top, is that what it's called? You know, like if you look at a lot of the motorcycle brands, you have the S1000RR, M package, you have the CBR 1000RR R Fireblade SP, you have the Yamaha R1M. You know, you have you know, what other brands are there? Ducati, Aprilia. Like, majority of the flagship bikes that they have are typically in the Litre bike range because of the market that they play in, right? If you look at, you know, when you look at racing motorcycles, MotoGP, I believe they all use Litre bikes, right? You know, hopefully I'm not wrong about that. I'm definitely gonna get bashed about that. So when people buy sports bikes, buy Litre bikes, they're going to be buying replicas of that, which is kind of like living your dream kind of moment. So, you know, that's the second pro. Third pro. What is the third pro of a Litre bike? I believe in most cases, for a lot of brands, your Litre bike also has all the electronics in it as well. For example, electronically controlled dampening systems, in most cases, are in the Litre bike ranges and not in the 600 ranges. And you'll see the price of your bikes kind of reflect that as well, right? There's obviously a lot of other things. Now, that doesn't mean that on a 600 bike you're not going to get something like traction control or ABS, but it might not be as good or as top as the one that you want. Not as nice or as top as the one that they offer with a Litre bike package, right? So that's the third pro. So let's go over those 3 pros again. Power, replicas, and electronic technology that they stuff into that bike. Right? Now mind you, for all of that, you get a very, very hefty price point. Usually a lot more, maybe $10,000 to $15,000 more. The only price I can think about is like a Kawasaki H2R is what, like some ridiculous amount of like $60,000 something dollars. I think 66. And then you have the, well, at the time that I remember, and then the Honda CBR Fireblade, I think that was like 30 something thousand, 40 something. If it's not right, I'll correct them on screen right here. Yeah, so cons though. Let's go on the other side. Cons. One thing that you're gonna immediately notice with a Litre bike is weight. In my opinion, Litre bikes, well, not in my opinion, spec sheets will show you that Litre bikes compared to 600s are a lot heavier, right? Are quite a bit heavier. They're a lot heavier than 250s and 300s. So you'll see a pretty drastic jump when you're trying to, you know, maneuver the bike. Especially if you're pushing around in a parking lot. Oh my God, is a Litre bike heavy in comparison, right? So weight is a huge thing, which, you know, it comes in part with a motor and with technology that can produce so much more power and can provide you, you know, so much more electronically controlled abilities, right? Features, right? It comes with the territory. If you're adding all that stuff in, it's going to make your bike heavier. 2, what I think would actually be cost. for example, for like me, you know, I might not be in a position to be able to spend 40, 50, 60, maybe not even 30 G's on a motorcycle, right, as a leisure activity, right? You know, some people out there are. That's amazing. That's awesome, right? But I'm not, right? And I want to experience riding a motorcycle. It's a lot of fun, right? You know, I never regretted learning how to ride or getting a motorcycle, right? Now, alternatively, to kind of bypass the issue with cost, your alternative solution is buy a second-hand bike, which is, you know, potentially a really good option for both sides, like 600s and 1000s. And you're still gonna see like a pretty big cost difference between a 600 and 1000, even when it's second-hand. For example, an R6 or an R1, right? You'll notice that the price difference is still there even when it's a second-hand bike compared to a new bike, right? So, you know, bear that in mind. You're spending less money, you're not spending $30,000, but you're still spending quite a bit of money. Now, the last part would be design. Now, I don't mean that in the sense of, oh, hey, Litre bikes are typically designed in a ugly-looking way. No. What I mean is, Litre bikes are typically designed with the question of power in mind, and also flexibility with that power. How or what you can do to put that power down into the road, and how fast you can hit that corner with as much power as possible, right? 600s do the same thing, but not at an extreme as high as 1000 or Litre bikes would, right? So in turn, when you think about it, when you're not on the track ripping your bike around, you know, when you're in the city riding with a bunch of friends, Litre bikes are more tiring to ride. They really are. Again, they're heavier. They're not designed for you to kind of like chill out in the city, ride around. So everything is heavier, and I believe that's also not only necessarily the motorcycle is heavier, but the lever, the clutch, and everything is heavier because you have a heavier clutch to handle more power, so on and so forth. Unless you have hydraulic clutch, that might make a little bit of a difference, right? But everything is heavier, and it's not designed to be as comfortable. It's not designed for city riding, right? And when something isn't designed for something, it doesn't mean you can't do it in the city. It just means it's not going to be as fun. It's not going to be as comfortable, right? You know, I can guarantee you, someone on a 250, which in my opinion is designed more for commuting, is going to be a lot more comfortable and less hot in the summer than a 600cc or a Litre bike would be, right? If anyone who's ridden a Litre bike out there will like fully understand what I'm talking about. It is hot in the summer, and you're stuck in traffic. And what do you have in cities? Traffic. Not only by cars, but traffic lights. So that's kind of my 2 cents on what the pros what 3 pros and 3 cons of a Litre bike would be, right? Let me know if you agree. If you don't, tell me why. Tell me what you think I missed for a pro and for a con is, right? I don't think those 3 cover everything, and they shouldn't be the full decision makers. But I get, it gives you kind of like an idea of how to consider whether or not you should get a Litre bike. Think about it, right? Because these are the questions that I had in my mind, right? When I thought about getting this bike. And ultimately, I was like, hey, you know what? I know it's going to be hot. I know it's not going to be as comfortable, but I'm okay with it. I'll pick it up anyways. And I've loved it since then. So yeah, ride safe. Enjoy. I hope you get to get a new bike if you're deciding to buy a new bike. And, let me know. Maybe I'll see you around and we go riding. Bye-bye.